He's a cheat. I've caught him several times, so can nobody tell me anything?
Like, oh no, we need more money in the card. And it's like, what you mean I need more money? And I'm saying like, damn, groceries are being really expensive. Everything is so expensive.
In the vibrant streets of Philadelphia during the mid-1960s, a musical journey began that would leave an indelible mark on soul music history. The story of the Delfonics unfolds like a rich tapestry woven with threads of talent, ambition, and human complexity. At the heart of this narrative stands William Hart, a young barber whose scissors trimmed hair by day, while his mind composed melodies that would soon captivate audiences nationwide. His journey from local street corners to national fame began with humble roots, singing in various neighborhood groups like Little Heart and the Everglows, alongside friends and family members who shared his passion for music. The foundation of what would become the Delfonics took shape when William and his brother Wilbert formed a group called the Delfonics, named after a cherished stereo machine in their basement, a space that became their musical sanctuary. This early formation included friends Randy Cain and Richie Daniels, though military service would soon claim Richie's participation. The group's evolution continued as they welcomed new voices, notably Ricky Johnson, maintaining a core trio that would prove instrumental in their future success. Their big break arrived unexpectedly in a West Philadelphia barber shop, where William, between haircuts, would strum his guitar and sing original compositions. It was there that Stan Watson, a chance visitor, recognized William's exceptional talent and connected him with renowned music producer Tom Bell. The initial recording sessions produced He Don't Really Love You, marking the beginning of a fruitful collaboration with Bell, though interestingly, the group's name initially appeared as the Delfonics before evolving into its final form. This early period set the stage for a remarkable rise to fame, with subsequent releases like You've Been Untrue gaining traction on Cameo Records. The group's distinctive sound, characterized by lush harmonies and poetic lyrics, quickly captured the hearts of listeners across America, establishing them as prominent figures in the burgeoning soul music scene of the late 1960s. As the Delfonics ascended to stardom, their music became a cultural phenomenon, resonating deeply with audiences through timeless classics like Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time and La La Means I Love You. These songs transcended mere entertainment, becoming anthems of romance and emotional expression that found their way into countless weddings, dances, and personal moments. The group's ability to articulate complex emotions through simple yet profound lyrics created an intimate connection with their listeners, making their music a staple in American households. However, beneath this veneer of success, subtle cracks began to form within the group's foundation. The relationship between brothers William and Wilbert Hart, once united by blood and shared musical dreams, started to strain under the weight of differing visions for the group's future. William, naturally assuming a leadership role, began making unilateral decisions about everything from musical direction to financial matters. This growing dominance created tension among members who felt increasingly marginalized in the decision-making process. The situation worsened as William's control extended beyond creative aspects to encompass the group's business operations, leading to accusations of financial mismanagement and favoritism. These internal conflicts coincided with external pressures, particularly concerning ownership rights to the group's name and music catalog. As members came and went, questions arose about who truly held legitimate claim to the Delfonics' identity. The discord reached a breaking point when two separate entities emerged, each claiming authenticity as the Delfonics, one led by William and the other by Wilbert. This division not only confused fans but also diluted the group's brand and market presence. The situation escalated into legal battles that drained resources and energy better spent on creating music, further fracturing the group's unity and complicating their professional relationships. The departure of Major Harris, a key vocal contributor, marked a significant turning point in the group's trajectory. His exit wasn't merely the loss of a talented voice, but symbolized the unraveling of the original chemistry that had made the Delfonics so special. These mounting challenges, internal disputes, financial disagreements, and identity crises, created a perfect storm that threatened to dismantle everything they had built together. At the center of the Delfonics' internal turmoil stood William Hart, whose leadership style evolved from guiding force to controversial figurehead. While his contributions as a songwriter and visionary were undeniable, His methods of control sparked increasing resentment among fellow members. William's insistence on maintaining complete creative oversight extended to dictating songwriting credits, often dismissing contributions from others despite their valid input. This approach, combined with his tight grip on financial matters, created an atmosphere where trust eroded faster than records could be pressed. The power dynamics within the group took a particularly contentious turn when allegations surfaced regarding William's handling of earnings. Former members claimed he retained disproportionate shares of the group's income, leaving others feeling exploited and undervalued. These accusations gained credibility when documentation revealed stark disparities in compensation, with some members receiving shockingly low payments for chart-topping hits. For instance, the group reportedly split a mere $7,500 for their massive hit La La Means I Love You, a sum that seemed incongruous with the song's commercial success and cultural impact. Tom Bell, their longtime producer, attempted to mediate these growing tensions but eventually distanced himself from the situation, recognizing the futility of resolving such deep-seated conflicts. His departure left a void in professional guidance just when the group needed it most. The strained relationships within the group manifested in studio sessions where creative discussions devolved into heated arguments, and performances where underlying tensions occasionally broke through the polished facade. This toxic environment proved unsustainable, driving a wedge between members who had once shared a common dream, and threatening to dismantle everything they had built together. The Delfonics' relationship with their record label, Philly Groove, transformed from a promising partnership into a suffocating constraint that ultimately contributed to their decline. Initially, the label provided crucial support and exposure, helping catapult the group to national recognition. However, as their success grew, so did the label's desire to maintain the status quo. Philly Groove insisted on replicating the formula that had brought initial success, resisting the group's attempts to evolve their sound. This creative restriction became particularly problematic as the music landscape shifted dramatically in the early 1970s, with new genres like disco emerging and audience preferences changing rapidly. Stan Watson's dismissive advice, "You guys make your money on the road, don't worry about record sales," exemplified the label's short-sighted approach. While the band toured extensively, often traveling in a modest 16-passenger van while Watson luxuriated in his chauffeur-driven Rolls-Royce, their artistic growth stagnated under the label's rigid control. The group's frustration mounted as they watched contemporaries like the Stylistics experiment with new sounds and maintain relevance. Attempts to incorporate contemporary elements into their music were met with resistance from label executives who feared alienating their established fan base. This creative suppression had far-reaching consequences. The Delfonics found themselves trapped in a musical time capsule while the world around them evolved. Their inability to adapt to changing musical trends resulted in declining chart performance and reduced airplay. Radio stations gradually phased out their songs, and younger audiences gravitated toward artists who reflected current sensibilities. The group struggled to remain relevant while shackled by their label's conservative approach, exemplified the broader challenge faced by many artists of their era, balancing artistic integrity with commercial viability in an industry increasingly focused on predictable returns rather than creative innovation. The Delfonics' gradual descent from their peak popularity unfolded against the backdrop of a rapidly transforming music industry. As the 1970s progressed, their classic soul sound began to feel increasingly dated, compared to the emerging disco movement and funk revolution. Music critics noted their apparent reluctance to embrace new styles, with reviews highlighting their adherence to familiar formulas, while their contemporaries pushed musical boundaries. This perception of artistic stagnation damaged their reputation among both industry professionals and discerning listeners who craved innovation. The group's declining influence became evident in several ways. Chart positions that once routinely placed them among the top acts now showed them struggling to crack the lower rankings. Radio play diminished significantly, with DJs opting for fresher sounds that better resonated with changing listener preferences. Even their live performances, once electrifying showcases of vocal prowess, began to draw smaller crowds as audiences sought more contemporary entertainment options. The disconnect between their established style and modern tastes widened with each passing year. Perhaps most tellingly, their album sales reflected this waning interest. Where once they could count on strong pre-orders and rapid sell-throughs, newer releases struggled to meet even modest expectations. The music press, which had previously celebrated their contributions to soul music, now largely ignored their work or referenced them primarily in nostalgic contexts. This shift in media attention mirrored the broader cultural move away from their signature sound, leaving the Delfonics increasingly marginalized in an industry they had once helped define. The aftermath of the Delfonics' dissolution played out like a complex dance of reunions, rebrandings and reinventions throughout the latter decades of the 20th century. The 1980s witnessed a particularly dramatic series of member migrations, beginning with Major Harris's pivotal decision to switch allegiances from Wilbert Hart's faction to William Hart's group. This transition gained additional significance with the return of original member Randy Cain, bringing a sense of nostalgic continuity to Williams' ensemble. Frank Washington's subsequent movement between groups in 1985 further complicated the already tangled web of Delfonics incarnations. The 1990s ushered in an era of parallel existences, with multiple iterations of the Delfonics operating simultaneously. William Hart's lineup, featuring Johnny Johnson and Garfield Fleming, carved out a niche in the concert circuit, their performances immortalized in popular DVDs like The Big Show and 70s Soul Jam. Meanwhile, Wilbert Hart maintained his own version of the group, featuring dynamic vocalist Salem Love, and later Ibn Brown, whose 5-year tenure brought stability to his ensemble. The decade also saw unexpected collaborations, including their contribution to Ghostface Killah's hip-hop track, After the Smoke Is Clear, demonstrating that their musical legacy still resonated with new generations of artists. Television appearances during this period helped maintain public interest, with notable performances on shows like The Arsenio Hall Show in 1989, where the original members briefly reunited to perform. These moments of unity, though fleeting, reminded audiences of the magic that had made the Delfonics legends. Each faction continued to record and perform, adapting to changing musical landscapes while preserving elements of their classic sound. The emergence of PBS specials and old-school soul celebrations provided platforms for both groups to reach new audiences, ensuring that the Delfonics name remained active in the music consciousness. The dawn of the new millennium brought both celebration and sorrow for the Delfonics. In 2005, Wilbert Hart demonstrated his enduring musical vitality with the release of Phonic Zone, a solo project that featured collaborations with contemporary artists like rapper Rick Ross. This fusion of classic soul with modern hip-hop elements showcased the timeless quality of the Delfonics sound, while proving its relevance to new generations. The momentum of this creative resurgence was tragically interrupted by a series of devastating losses that would forever alter the group's landscape. In 2009, the soul music community mourned the passing of Randy Cain, whose sweet nature and vocal harmony had been integral to the group's original success. His death at age 63 marked the end of an era, leaving behind memories of those golden years when the Delfonics first captured hearts worldwide. Just 3 years later, Major Harris succumbed to illness at age 65, taking with him one of the most distinctive voices in soul music history. These losses were compounded in 2022, when William Hart passed away at 77, closing a chapter that had begun in those West Philadelphia barbershops over 5 decades earlier. Despite these profound losses, the spirit of the Delfonics endured through Wilbert Hart, the sole surviving original member, who continued to perform into 2025. His perseverance ensured that the group's legacy remained alive, with new vocalists joining to carry forward their musical torch. The baton passed to performers like Michael Muse, who had brief stints with other legendary groups, bringing fresh energy while respecting the original sound. This continuation was particularly evident in the renamed William Hart's Delfonics, which persisted despite Williams' passing, maintaining the group's presence in the music scene. The true measure of the Delfonics' impact extends far beyond their chart positions or record sales. Their influence permeates modern music through countless covers, samples, and reinterpretations by artists across genres. The Jackson 5's rendition of La La Means I Love You introduced the classic to new generations, while Prince's subtle nod to the song in his work demonstrated its lasting resonance. In the realm of hip-hop, Ghostface Killah's sampling of their music in Harlem bridged generations, connecting soul purists with contemporary urban music enthusiasts. Their songs have found new life in film and television, with Spike Lee's Crooklyn and episodes of Malcolm in the Middle, introducing their music to viewers who might never have discovered it otherwise. The emotional weight of La La Means I Love You was particularly evident in Nicolas Cage's heartfelt performance in The Family Man, while its inclusion in The Sopranos added layers of meaning to pivotal scenes. These placements weren't mere background music but integral elements that enhanced storytelling, proving the timelessness of their composition. Artists like Aretha Franklin, Jackie Jackson and New Kids on the Block have all paid homage through their interpretations of Didn't I Blow Your Mind This Time, each adding unique dimensions while maintaining the song's essential spirit. More recent performances, such as The Roots' rendition on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, demonstrate how seamlessly their music integrates into modern musical contexts. This ongoing dialogue between past and present ensures that the Delfonics' contributions continue to resonate, influencing contemporary artists while maintaining their rightful place in music history. Their story serves as both an inspiration and cautionary tale, a testament to the transformative power of music and the complex human dynamics that often accompany artistic success.